I'm Dan.
And I'm Dudley.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
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 Hello to you.
Hello to you.
Hello to me.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
I've been watching
everybody.
Alexander Hamilton.
Yes,
and
you
so now I
have.
feel like everything should be
A song?
a song.
Are you going to break out on the song?
I don't know.
You need to get the hell out
I
of here.
didn't plan it.
Da,
But-
da, 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 da. No, we're not doing that. No, that's...
Okay, if you have not seen Hamilton,
I'm actually surprised by how much you like
I
it.
really like it.
I've only watched half of it. I
Yes,
got other intermission.
because you're a fool.
I mean, it's good.
I've seen it 2.5 times now.
I've noticed. It's pretty relentless that it just goes.
It goes.
And it just
I think
never-
about
it's
the
the-
production of that a lot. Like
Yeah,
since
and
I've watched
that's-
it,
honestly,
and I keep
think
watching it.
That's why my only thing is like I watch it. I'm like, wow, this is amazingly done. It's masterfully written.
Yeah.
It's like really great.
Mm-hmm.
But I need time to breathe. I just like can't keep up with it. After a while.
I
It's
didn't.
like-
We watched half of it because we were watching up to the intermission yesterday with you.
Yeah.
And your friend, and then we got to the intermission, and I was just like, "We gonna keep going, right?" I was really annoyed that y'all left.
Oh, no.
I was like, "I want to keep watching."
I enjoyed it, but I was also
it's
kind of like, and it was a
really-
little late, and I was kind of tired.
I was willing to go to midnight
Yeah.
to finish it.
I was willing to do it, but I was also kind of like, man, I kept thinking like, when first time y'all watched it, the first song went, and I thought, there's no way they keep this pace the whole for 2.5 hours. And they were for the most part.
I mean, there's an intermission,
There's
so
a- yeah,
for
there-
an hour, and
yeah, but still, I'm like,
it's
y'all need to slow
it
down.
goes.
Yeah.
And then the second act is just the same thing. It's
Yeah.
it's
So
really
I haven't
good.
watched that part so far. My favorite parts are the two. What is it? King
Louis,
Yeah.
Team Louis. I can't remember the number. but
whatever king it is.
Yeah.
His song's my favorite one. So
He's
far.
really good. He's played by Jonathan. I think John Groff. Somebody. He's the
Groff?
guy from Mindhunters. For
Yeah.
anyone who's watched
Well,
that show.
I was informed that he's the guy from Glee.
Which
I didn't know.
I didn't know that either. But he did not know he could sing.
Yeah, but apparently if you watch Glee, you knew that.
Oh well, you didn't know that. I've only seen the thing I knew him from was
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter.
He's great in
Well,
that.
he's also in Frozen, and Frozen too.
Yeah, I don't know that.
And
either.
I didn't know that, but I didn't realize it was him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Hamilton,
Do
or if
whatever
you watched half of it, you should be watching it.
Okay.
Just
Let's talk
saying.
about some games.
Yes.
Because that's what we primarily do here.
Uh-huh.
That and bullshit.
Yes.
So I play some games.
Yes. That's good.
I know you want to talk a lot about.
I'm going to talk a lot about The Last of Us Part 2,
Yeah,
but
so
let's get all your
get my
pointless stuff out of the way.
It's not pointless. It's
I-
very
I
important
didn't-
thing.
yeah.
Mine is topical,
Uh-huh.
current.
Yeah.
Well, first we're gonna play a game we played a lot of times, but then I'm gonna talk about very topical things
Uh-huh.
out this week, fresh off the press.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, and I mean they are. They came out this week. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they are. It's the most
Oh,
topical
okay.
week our ever are.
Okay.
So first we play Codenames. with
Codenames,
the
yes.
Cartwrights.
I came over for dinner and in a game.
Yeah.
And we played the code names.
Yeah.
And it went well.
It
went really,
really well
well.
for me the first game.
You won one. And then how many did we win?
I wasn't really keeping track, but
I was. It was 3. 1 into 3.
we played more than 3 games. So,
We played
games.
4 games. We played 4 games.
so that is the right number.
That's the right number. So you won 1.
Uh-huh.
We won 3.
Uh-huh.
So I was teamed with Trey
Uh-huh.
and me and Eden.
Yeah.
Your friend,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, we're gonna do terrible, because I just thought I was like, yeah, I'm not that great at this game,
Yeah.
and we'll see.
Yeah.
And I don't know Eden that well, so it was kind of like I have no idea where her mindset
Yeah.
is on the clue.
Mhm.
So I was like, we're not gonna do good, and then we did great.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was with Jess
Uh-huh.
and
My
Brandy,
fiance, yeah.
and the first game, I was the code giver.
uh-huh.
For those who don't know, Codenames is the game where you lay out a grid of words, and
5x5 grid.
You have 2 teams there, and you have the code givers have a card that tells them which words are their code words, and it tells which. It also gives one of the words that's an assassin. So basically, you're trying to give clues to your teammates to using only one word or a proper noun and a number to direct them to whatever words are on the board.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's tricky because there are words that kind of are similar or go together, and they may not all be your code words. And so it's really great because
it's a fun little
you gotta think
group
pretty hard.
party game.
You gotta play around and try to guess also. Because you give a hint, and then you can't say anything. You can't give any expression.
Yeah, you give a word and a number.
Yeah.
That number of words that are associated with the first word.
Yeah, and so, but then you have to listen to them talk about all their weird logics of what they're trying to guess, what you're trying to direct them to. And a lot of times they're talking about words that you had no idea why they would go to that way, or you don't think about it. Because, the first game, I was like on fire. Like I was throwing stuff down, and they were nailing it every time they knew the exact words I was talking about. I'm like, this is going great. We're gonna win, and we did win the first one.
Yes.
Everyone after that,
did terrible.
We did not do as well. And the last game, I was the code giver, and now y'all did win, but not because of anything y'all did, but because of what I did.
Because we didn't mess up. We were successful in getting the words, but also not getting y'all's, and then your team was very good at giving us extra ones.
Yeah, well, we were doing really well. I think we were actually ahead of y'all
for a little while.
For up to the end of the game. We only needed 2 at the end. I think y'all needed 2 or 3. But it was really close. But I was struggling to get them to get the last 2 or 3 words I had left. And I was just like, I'm trying to tie them together, and I couldn't quite make the match up and everything. They were weird, disjointed words. And then finally I just said, because a couple of them kind of fit in like as medical terms. So I said, medicine 2.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said it, I reread the word for
the assassin.
Which is the very one you don't want them to pick because it's an instant lose. And it was
tablet,
which could be like
like an iPad,
a medicine tablet,
or a pill tablet.
Yeah. And as soon as I said it and it came out of my mouth, I looked down, saw it, and
that was the first one they pointed out.
Oh, tablet, and I was like, God damn it! And I was like, and then they spent a while talking about it, and I'm sitting there going, we've lost. We've completely lost. They're going to spend all this time trying to figure out what I might also be referring to. Yeah. And the first one they're going to pick is going to end the game.
And it did.
It did. And we lost. And I was just like, as soon as they said it, I was like, I royally screwed up. And just as soon as I said it, I knew it was bad and we had lost.
You got to pay attention to them words, Daniel.
I did. It just did not occur to me that the use of that word that way. So until I said my choice, I was like, yeah. So that was fun. I enjoyed it.
It was good. It was a really good game. Yeah. It was fun.
And then first thing that came out this week that I was excited for, I talked about it last week. Superhot, Mind Control Delete. Yes. It's kind of a sequel, DLC,
expansion,
way more content for the regular game of Superhot. And it's really interesting. So it starts off as a little trippy and like fuzzy, and you're like going through like levels, but parts of them are missing. And then you get into a sequence of like it gives you like you remember like the old adventure games where you had like little characters that were like picking which way you want to go kind of thing. Like it was like, you have little symbols and you can move up and down and pick which way you want. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like a text-based adventure, but it would pop up.
Oh, yeah, it'd be like, all right, it was,
like an ASCII map.
So it's like, it would describe where you're at, and you're like, go north.
Sometimes it'll
go west.
Yeah, I mean that, but sometimes they'll have like an ASCII character map.
Well, kind of like
where it's like lines and stuff, little symbol. Well, you'll have that. And you'll move to pick. You have some options which way you want to kind of go, and then when you do that, it pulls up a screen of code, and it zips through the code as it's like deleting it, and it stops at a point, and then you play a level.
Okay.
And it'll say like the room or something like that, and but you also get lives in this one. Like in the original one, if you got hurt, you just start back over the level,
Yeah.
right? You go back to the beginning of that section of levels.
Yeah.
And in this one, it like upgrades you and gives you, well, 2 or 3 hearts, depending on certain things. You have hearts. And so you can get hurt 2 or 3 times, but if you lose all your hearts, it resets all that code and you start back at the beginning of it.
Okay.
And so you're trying to go through a sequence of code, and each time the rooms the little scenarios you get are slightly different. Not necessarily the same ones, the same order, and they're randomized. It's like how the people come at you, what kind of weapons they're wielding when they come at you.
So it's procedurally generated?
Yeah, it's procedurally generated. So it's kind of randomized, and so it's not always the same, and you're just trying to kill enough guys, and then it kills off the rest, and then you can go on to the next section. Well, it also gives you a set of hacks.
Okay.
So there are little nodes, and once you get to those nodes, it gives you a random, out of a list that grows as you get more of them, a list of hacks. So it's stuff like you start with a random gun, or you start with a katana, you move faster, your bullets go through things, you get, like, one of them's like a grenade, where basically all thrown objects, when you throw it and it hits something, it explodes bullets outward from it. There's all kinds of different little things, and it's really interesting because you're finding interesting combinations of using those. And then as you go to the next section level, it resets. You don't have all the hacks, and some of them are just like you heal. You can spend one to heal yourself or get you more hearts or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
so if you're not doing well, or something,
you can like, I'm gonna heal myself because I'm not doing well. And as you get through this set of code, it deletes all, and then you move to another section on the map and keep going. And so I'm like digging further into the game. And then I've also recently started running, as it gets more complicated, these guys will come at me, but part of them, you know how the level's kind of all white?
Yeah.
And then the bad guys are all red? Well, first off, you start seeing guys who, their weapons are red as well. So you can't, like, hit them and take their weapons.
Oh, okay.
And or they don't drop their weapon when you hit them or whatever. So you can't. There are people that come at you with these weapons, but you can't take the weapons from them.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And then you start running into guys who are like, parts of them are white, and you can't damage those parts. So you have to hit, like, one leg will just be red. So you have to hit.
You have to go for the vulnerable spot.
Yeah, exactly. Or just their torso will be red, or one arm. So you have to focus on that part of them. So it's really like it's a little difficult sometimes. And like I said, you get messed up and you kill yourself or you die or whatever, and then you reset and you have to go through a random gambit of them again. And I'm really liking it. It's really cool.
Sounds really good.
It's really good. I played it for a while,
complex.
and I basically had to stop, like I do with most time with Superhot. Is I got to a point where it's like, I'm a little manic now. I'm going to stop for a bit. It's just really good. And one of my favorite of those, because it's just kind of the same handful of rooms and scenes kind of repeating a lot, but you start in a different spot on it, and then the guys are coming out at random places. One of them's a club, like a strip club, and the music is like strip club beat music, but because you don't know if you want to hear, I don't know what it is. It's like
other than what you've seen
music.
on like
whatever I've seen on TV, but like you only hear it in slow motion unless you move full speed running through it, and then you can get the full beat of the music. And it's really weird that I notice it more on that level than I do any other situation because it's actually atmospherical music playing.
That's interesting.
It's really interesting.
So you're like, I like this song. I need to go with full speed so I can get the full
so I can
beat
get into
rhythm.
it. Yeah. There was one time I played them and I had a katana, and I was like, I had also a thing that made me faster. So I was like running through really quickly, jamming to the music and slicing through people. And it's just cool, all these neat little new things there. And I haven't even got through it all, so who knows what else they're going to throw at me.
Yeah, but I knew it was big. Big.
Apparently, the original game's not that long, but apparently it's like 4 times longer than the first game.
Yeah.
So I was like, So I'm liking it. I'm digging it.
That's good.
I'm curious and like I said, I keep unlocking other new hacks and new things that like one of them is the I forget what they call super thrower or something like that. So certain things like shurikens, when you throw it, they bounce back and you can grab them again. Or like
Shurikens don't bounce.
Yeah, but these, when you get the hack, it does.
Yeah.
And, like, when you throw things, it hits harder and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. I'm liking it. So I'm really enjoying that.
That's a style of game. I can see them they can keep putting out more content for it.
Yeah, and I'm curious if they're going to make an expansion like this for the VR version, because the VR version is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a workout.
Yeah.
But you want to get in it and, like, feel pretty
I did
cool
most of it in, like, in 2 settings.
Yeah, I did too. I did almost all of it in one setting, I think.
I did a lot of it one time.
And I was like, my legs didn't work for a couple of days. I had trouble going upstairs. I was like, oh. But yeah, it's really, really cool, really interesting. The other game that I got that came out Friday is Super Mario.
Oh, did you pick that up?
Paper Mario. The Origami King.
Ooh. Did you get a physical copy or
No, I got I downloaded.
I have to buy it.
Yeah, you have to buy it yourself. I'm sorry. Yeah. Or you can play it on my console, I guess, but when I'm not using it.
Yeah. I want to get it. You have to let me know how it is and tell me if it's worth it.
So far, I've just gotten to the beginning of it. It's very whimsical, as you would expect. It's kind of there's a couple of things I found interesting. Okay, for one, they're having fun doing the folding stuff. So, you're fighting the Origami King, and he's taking over the kingdom, and he's turned all the Goombas and stuff into
3 dimensions.
Folded soldiers is what they're called.
Yeah.
And some reason they really hate the toads. I don't know why. So they've been kind of going around beating up all the toads. And so a big part of the game so far is like I'm going and finding them. They're folded up into weird shapes, and I'm freeing them, and then or they're like stuck in stuff, but they are crumpled up. One of them was like accordioned, and there's like a confetti throwing mechanic where, like, you're walking through the world and there's holes, like, because everything's made of paper.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like a framework with paper laid on it. Whoops. And so there'll be holes in the ground you can fall in, and it hurts you. And then but you have a bag that you're filled with confetti that you pick up, and you, like, throw it, and it lands on the hole, and it fills back in. So, and then you get money for doing it, and you also find stuff. And
it's your paper mache-ing.
Yeah, exactly. You're repatching everything with confetti. And Mario's like, wah! And throwing his hands up, and it flies up and floats down.
What's the guy's name that would throw confetti?
Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Yeah, it's like Mario's become Rip Taylor.
But it's really weird because the first thing you get is a hammer, and you go around and you swing a hammer and you break things and hit trees and stuff falls out. But there's a couple of weird things. One. And I get it, it's kind of geared toward kids, a younger audience. So the tutorial...
Mario? No.
The tutorial is, like, really heavy on the hand-holding.
Yeah.
Like, I went through 2 battles where it basically showed me how to do the fight twice. And I'm like, I get it. Okay, it's not that hard. And then I get a little tired of that. And I know I'm from the older generation where we were playing games that didn't explain anything and just threw us at it and told us to figure it out. But it's a little much sometimes.
That's why I wish they had like adult mode of games like that. Or skip tutorials or something where you can like check a thing at one point you go into settings before you start and tell it, I don't need the hand holding, and you can just turn that stuff off and it just goes through it.
But the battle system is interesting. At least it pops up in wave battles, so there may be other types of battles. But basically, it's a big circle. You're standing in the middle, and there are rings that go out. And the bad guys will be standing on those rings. And right now, I'm just Mario, and I have like 2 attacks. The jumping attack, which basically I can jump on everyone when they're lined up in a row. And then I have a hammer attack, which hits 4 people in a square.
Okay.
And so basically, it sets them up, and then it shifts them around, and you can turn the rings to try to line them up in the ways so you can hit them.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty simple so far, so I imagine it'll get more complex. And I'm wondering, because it specifically calls them wave battles, makes me think there must be other types of battles.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's really fun and kind of silly and has some fun. It kind of plays. It has a lot of puns. It kind of plays around with it.
It's supposed to be very funny.
it's really funny because one of the first toads I find, I get him pulled out, and he's like folded over. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so folded. I need help. I need someone to flatten me out." And so you just beat him with the hammer to flatten him back out.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there just beating on the toad.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh,
Daniel,
beat on the toad. Beat on the toad.
How rude.
Beat on the toad with the hammer."
Are you trying to...
It doesn't quite work. Like, beat on the bread.
Beat on the bread.
Beat on the toast.
See, we're trying to go into a musical.
Oh, yeah. I'd much rather do a Ramones musical than anything else. Because it would be 3 chords, it'll be easy, and it's just very intense.
Very aggressive.
Very intense.
But you would
very
get tired, Daniel. You already established that Hamilton is too quick for you, too fast.
It's only 3 chords. It's very same tempo on every song, and
which is
repetitive
fast.
lyrics. It's the same words over and over again. It's gonna be easy.
Yeah, right.
But so yeah, I'm beating on the toads, and
are the Ramones still around?
I have no idea.
Some
of them are. I think some of them might be alive. I don't think all of them are.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I haven't thought about the Ramones since Josh lived with us, so that's been a while.
Yeah.
He was a Ramones fan.
I was a Ramones fan.
And you were.
Yeah, I listened to Ramones.
But yeah. Anyway,
I really like it so far. I want to play it some more and kind of see what they do with it.
Yeah.
I went through a forest. Like, one of the first areas you go through once you get past the opening stuff is you're going through the forest, and and then you realize all the trees can talk. They have eyes, and they wake up and they're like, "Hey!" And then you're helping this giant, an old tree called Grand Sappy. Yeah. And here's the thing that caught me, and I was like, "Well, what?" They I don't know if all of them do, everyone in there, but they use y'all.
Really?
Yeah, they said y'all a couple of times, and I was almost didn't catch it, but I was like, y'all. They just said y'all, and I'm like, I mean, it's a Japanese game, so
yeah. It's the localization guy. There's a Texan in there.
Yeah, who's like, we're gonna get y'all. Hey, y'all.
The trees are gonna say y'all. He probably fought on that hill.
Yeah.
He died on that hill.
And here's the deal: is I think, I thought, the trees are just gonna be in this area, right? But so far, I keep seeing once I got out of the woods, there's a wooden sign, and a face pops up on it, and it's like, hey, and all the wooden objects have faces and talk. A house.
Well, it makes sense.
Walked up to a door and knocked on the door.
Papers are made from trees.
I guess.
They're their ancestors.
There's a bunch of there's a campground with stacks of firewood, and they were like, "Burn us! We want to be burned so we can turn to ashes and return to the earth." And I'm like, "This is weird." And I walked up to a door, and the house face opened up on the house, and it's just like, "The toad that lives here is not home. Come back later." And I'm like, "What?"
Vacate the premises.
Yeah,
we don't know you.
I'm wondering, is every piece of wood gonna talk to me this whole game?
Yes.
I don't know, but I hope so. It's really weird.
It's weird.
But I like it. It's so bizarre.
I mean, the whole game's sentient paper, so it makes sense for there to be sentient wood.
Yeah. And it's pretty, even though it's a kid's game, it's a little, kind of scary, because they, when you first come in, Peach comes out, Origami version, and she's, saying stuff like, do you submit yourself to be folded and bent and reborn in glory?
Do you want to get bent?
Yeah, and I'm like, and then she's like, it's a yes or no, and I'm like, no, and it's like, do you believe that the toad should be destroyed? And I'm like, no, and it's like,
what if you said yes?
I don't know. Well, at the end, she's like, it doesn't matter what you said, and it's really weird, but it's super culty vibe. And then, later, you're looking through a hole in the wall, and you see folded up Bowser, who's just a face on a piece of folded paper. And you can see the shadow of his guys, his Goombas, being brought in, and then, you can see the shape, just the shadow of them being pressed, and then popping back up as origami things. So I'm like, this is kind of disturbing. They're being, transmuted. But I was kind of watching going...
Converted.
Yeah.
Malued.
Yeah, folded.
Folded.
Yeah, so it's when you're thinking, these are all paper people, but they're being reshapen into something new. And then you fight them later.
Princess is like, bend for me, Mario, bend.
Yeah, it's I don't think she said bend, but I think I
bent.
Yeah. But
man, this game's rude.
it was kind of like, it's got a kind. It's so whimsical and cartoony and kind of child friendly. But when you think about it, you're like, this is kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I am liking it so far.
You have to let me know if it's worth it, because I was debating if I wanted
it does come with a $60 price tag. Right?
That's the biggest issue. I was thinking about getting, because I'm flying this next weekend.
Oh yeah,
I'll be flying on Friday and flying back on Monday.
Okay.
So I'll have 6 hours on a plane, and I figure I can have some Switch time. And I was debating if I wanted to get it to play. But I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm gonna have to get somebody to do the show with me next week.
And we're going to discuss how. Make sure you know how to upload the episode.
Oh, that's true.
I can help you.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Don't worry. I send you the file.
It seems excessive, but if we had to do it that way, we can.
I think I send you the file and you fill it.
Okay. In theory, we can do it that way.
Anyway, yeah. I also played some old school Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, okay.
My friend Eden and I, we were just hanging out, and I got out the Super NES Mini Classic.
The Classic, yeah.
And hooked it up, and so I forgot this, but you can play 2-player on that game.
Oh, really? Which
one?
Which
Super Mario World.
Oh, Mario World, okay.
On the SNES.
And you take turns, right?
Yeah, you take turns.
Yeah, that's right.
One of these Mario, one of these Luigi, and you have your own set of lives.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone runs out of lives,
you can share them.
You can share them. You can give them some of your lives. And it's funny because we were both dying a lot for the opposite reasons.
Yeah.
She was dying a lot because she hadn't played it a lot. She only played it a little bit because she never owned it, but she went over to her neighbors and played it.
Yeah.
And so there was lots of stuff she didn't know about. So it was really fun showing her all these cool
the secrets?
All these secret
There's
things.
She's like,
whoa. And I'm like, you can do that?
I'm like,
little things
I know. Let me show you the way.
Let me show you the way.
You think you know Mario World. You don't know Mario World.
It's little things like, you can... There's the screen climbing thing, and she didn't know you could
punch them.
Yeah, you could punch through and hit the Koopas on the other side and stuff like that, and all the hidden paths and stuff.
Yeah.
And she never really got that far in it.
Yeah.
But she kept dying because she hadn't played it that much, so she's not used to the timing and all this stuff.
And you kept dying because you were being ambitious and trying to show off.
I wasn't showing off. I was just I hold down the run button and I go a mile a minute, and so I was dying not as often, but close to as often because I just kept...
Because you're incompetent.
I'm flying through the level and then just like dropping a hole or running into something or
pure memory, trying to remember all the...
Well, I mean, there was multiple times where I would do something and she would go, whoa, and then I immediately died. Because I would do something impressive where I bounced off of something.
Because you're used to playing this game alone without someone reacting to it.
And
so you're like, what? Who are you? And then you fall in a hole.
Who is you?
No, what? Why are you doing that?
You just forget your words when you get startled, Dudley.
Yeah, that's what happens. What you doing? How'd you get here?
But I would do something that was like, oh, wow, I dodged that bullet and took that guy out, and then I fell in a hole.
Yeah.
It's just like I can do something impressive and then immediately die. So I would be flying through the level, get all the way to the end, and then die. And I'm like, so it was pretty funny. Like
you can split up though in the game too. You could take different paths.
So she was going the main path, and I was showing her I went and did the side path, that one that lets you go through the pipe and you could see Bowser's Castle, the last level of the game early on. So I was like, yeah, look at that. That's Bowser's Castle. That's where we're going. And she was like, oh, that's cool. She had not seen that.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun, play her being a little bit nostalgic, having played the game before, but not really getting to fully experience it. The depths of that game has, and as far as all the secrets plays and
That's
stuff.
probably the last of those.
And it was really fun to be showing her something and kind of seeing her reaction of it. I was like, this is cool. I really like doing this.
It's good.
It was
Super
fun.
Mario World is a fun game.
It's a great game. It's a pretty game.
It's a really
I was talking to her about this, and we talked about this, is how those Super Nintendo games hold up really well because most of them are all pixel art, and so it still looks good even today, as opposed to stuff like that's newer, like the 64, where you have like early 3D, low polygon stuff, and it's just like, oh, this doesn't hold up as well.
And then the NES, it was limited on the color space and all that stuff, so it's good, but it's not as detailed as the Super
Yeah, because you go from 8-bit to 16-bit, and it was just
twice as many bits.
So double the bits. It's just a great game. It's just a lot of fun.
I haven't played it in a while.
It was pretty heavy nostalgic.
When I played it a little bit when I got the Super NES Classic, but I haven't played it in a while.
Yeah.
Mine are sitting on the shelf over there. I need to set them up.
Yeah, I actually stole one of your controllers.
I was wondering where
because
it was.
I don't know where mine is. I only have one. I don't know. Maybe it's at the house, at the parents' house or something.
Yeah.
But so I went and came and borrowed. So I have one of yours.
Okay. I was confused because I was moving stuff earlier. And there was no controller. I was like, "Where's my controller?" But okay, that makes sense.
Because they came with two.
Yeah, it comes with the Super NES comes with two.
Yeah, and I couldn't find my other one. I only had the one.
I think I left my second one at the house.
Yeah, it must be at the parents' house. That's my guess. So I borrowed that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Did you play anything else?
No, that's
okay. Well, I'm now going to talk about The Last of Us Part 2.
Are you going to fill up 30 minutes of it?
Is that how much time we have left?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll do 20. And then I'll ramble through some news real quick. But anyway, I finished The Last of Us Part 2, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about it. Just heads up, spoilers. So if you don't want to hear about...
Should I not listen?
You've
been adamant that I need to play this game.
We only got 30 minutes left of the episode. You might as well just call it done. Let it play. Don't listen to it. The news, you can go read it yourself. There's a few things I won't talk about in the news, but definitely, but I will get to it. So, Last of Us. Finished the game, finished the story. The story and the character development are fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Particularly the final fight toward the end.
When I came in, was that the final fight?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I watched you do it, and I was like, this is. I happened to be I was walking down the hall, and I poked my hand in, and I'm like, oh, this looks dramatic. And I walked in, and I was like, oh, this feels final. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
and I kind of watched it, and I'm like, this is pretty brutal.
So, again, spoiler alert. So the whole thing comes to a culmination of a big fight with Ellie and Abby, the two characters you play through the whole game.
Yeah.
And it is a intense fight. And there's some loss in the fight. Yes. And I won't give the complete ending away, but it's really good. And the story is fantastic because it's got this whole arc that it deals with two sides of revenge. So you got Abby with her. She got her revenge at the beginning of the game when she kills Joel, and then.
So what was her beef with Joel?
So the whole thing is in the first game, Joel kills all these Fireflies. It's this group. She kills a bunch of them. One of the doctors that was trying to find a cure for the apocalypse thing but it was going to involve killing Ellie because he had to get this thing in her brain.
Oh, weird.
And so she was going to die for it. Well, Joel decided
that wasn't
worth it and killed everybody and saved her. So that's the big climax of the first game.
Whoa.
The doctor is Abby's father.
Oh,
so her group, their former Fireflies, they're now in another group, and they go and they get wind of where he is, and they go and they end up running into him and they kill him.
Yeah.
Right in front of Ellie, and then the whole game, half the game is your Ellie trying to get revenge back to her, and then you flip it and you go onto her side, and it's really great because it's like. It goes through like 3 days, and it's like day 1, Seattle, and you're playing Ellie, day 2, day 3, and then it hops back, and then it's like day 1 again, and you see Abby's side of it, and you're going through what she's doing, and there's a little bit of crossover with some of the things happening, and then it introduces this weird culty camp that has this martyr that they basically worship, and it's called the Scars, and so there's a fight between Abby's group and them, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Deals with a lot of emotional complexities with Abby dealing with the aftermath of basically getting the revenge she wanted.
Yeah.
But all the consequences, her group pretty well just destroyed because of it.
Yeah.
And so she's dealing with the consequences of getting the revenge she wanted, and then Ellie is getting that revenge, trying to get that revenge, and then you kind of see how that plays out.
That's
and it's
cool.
Takes a toll on both of them.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And let's see what else. So that's kind of the story element, and it's really good. It's pretty, like I said, brutal and tense.
Yeah. I walked in and I watched you do that fight, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, some crazy stuff happened in that fight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room for a sequel.
Yeah?
Like, you find out...
You think there'll be a part 3?
They even the developers have said they'll either do a part 3 next or a new property for another game. But there's a lot of elements they could definitely do a third one.
They got room to play.
Because they've introduced that the Fireflies still exist, even though they thought to have been disbanded, but Abby finds out they're still out there.
Yeah.
So I could really see them doing another one.
Yeah.
And I can almost kind of see where it should go, and I have some ideas what it could do.
Yeah.
I really hope if they do a third one, that they just double down on Abby and made her the main character.
Yeah.
And just like F you to everyone that hated, that didn't like it. And that's just because they're dumb.
Yeah.
Two big things that people were criticizing. One is just the violence.
Yeah.
And it is a very violent game.
Yeah.
But if you played the first one was
That's
not
no
a walk in
surprise.
the park either. It's just it's the progression of that.
Yeah.
So if you're not comfortable with more violence than that, then you just not the game for you. You should probably just pass on the game.
There are plenty of perfectly good, awesome games that don't
not
have
everything
violence.
is made for everybody.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is all the people that were hating on the main characters because they're lesbian or whatever.
Yeah, shut up.
Just shut up. And like I said, if you can't relate to a main character because they are a woman, that says more about you than the game.
Yes, it really does. I mean, I'm sorry, if you expect all characters to be white, straight men...
Yeah, well, not all of it, but it's generally speaking, that's the case.
It's like... Shut up.
It's narcissism, really.
Yeah, it's like,
just,
can you only understand characters that are exactly you? Or, it sounds like you have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You might want to rethink your life.
Yeah.
And maybe talk to somebody. Meet new people?
Yeah. You have to just,
anyway.
Read a book.
Read a book.
Do something that,
that
makes you understand other people.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. I think
cool.
It's better than the first one, and the first one's really good. But I think this one's better. It's got a deeper morality. Well, because the first one deals with a lot of morality element of being human, but this one goes even deeper, and I think touches on a lot of things as
based on everything I've seen and you've told me that
you should play the game.
I'm kind of tempted to play it.
You should play it. It's really good. I
don't know when I'll get around to find the time to play it, but at some point maybe.
Yeah. And I took my time going through it. You could probably play through it faster than I did.
Yeah. Well,
you don't care about
generally
trying to
quicker than you.
Oh well, you have more time to play too.
Yeah.
But being quicker is not always a good thing, Daniel. You gotta savor sometimes. But I highly recommend it if you're okay with the violence and I even talked to Ham about it. He goes, because there's some brutal deaths in it, like where if you die and the death animation is pretty brutal. Grant Ham was like, I just closed my eyes on this part. So I was like,
really?
Like he goes, well, I fucked up, and then he doesn't watch.
Look away.
And you look away because it gets.
No.
I mean, some of the deaths you just like you get popped to the head, you're dead.
Oh,
because your health gets too low and you get shot, you just get it's a headshot and you just drop. And I'm like, like I said, if you're not good with violence, you probably should pass it up.
Yeah.
That's I think I covered that a lot faster than I thought I would.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, but I highly recommend it. If you haven't played either of the first one or the second one, and you want to feel, you should.
Okay.
You should.
You want to experience emotion.
You want to feel the tension.
If you don't, unless you just want to experience whimsical,
getting bent,
silly, getting bent. Play Paper Mario. Yeah. Because, I mean, there's very little...
no bloodshed.
There's no bloodshed. Even the people who have been hurt are just, like, folded. And you can just
they're not,
hammer
it's not
them
permanent.
Yeah.
More aggression fixes it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's right. Sounds wrong.
Yeah, they're like trees. They're like, hit me with your hammer. And I'm like, is this a sex thing?
It sounds like a sex thing.
You're asking me to beat your wood with a hammer.
Yep, that's a sex thing, definitely. Yeah. If I know anything, that's a sex thing. Let's cover news.
Sure.
So let's get into some news.
Get into some news.
While I'm talking about Last of Us, there's the Metacritic. So you remember they had a
review bomb thing?
Review bomb with it?
Yeah.
Well, they come out with a solution, or hopefully a solution for it. Now the user side of it will have to wait 36 hours after a game is released before they can post a review.
Will that fix that?
Yes. Because... the problem is they review bomb it the first day.
Oh, trying to hurt the sales.
Hurting the sales of it. And so if you wait 36 hours, people actually have a chance to play it.
Yeah.
And legit, because everyone that the review bomb on...
haven't played the game.
Didn't play the game.
Yeah.
Because the game's like 20 hours plus.
So they didn't play it.
They didn't play it. And so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not going to stop review bomb, but it's gonna delay them long enough to.
It'll take some of the punch out of it.
Yeah. Okay. And hopefully stop them altogether.
Yeah.
Because that's just.
And also get more people who actually play the game time to play it and give an actual legit review.
Yeah.
To help water down some of the bullshit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So a guy made Bloodborne. Yes. You play Bloodborne, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So the first part of Bloodborne...
Werewolves.
Is Yard Town.
Yeah.
I think it's called. Someone made a 2D version of
Isn't it like Yarnall or something like that? I don't know.
It may be. I can't remember what it's called in it, but they made... The one that he made is called Yardstown, and it's a 2D remake of that area. The first area and the first two bosses and everything. So it's like a top-down Zelda-esque game, and it's laid out. Yharnam.
And close.
Okay, so Yharnam,
Central Yharnam.
Yeah. So that first part is that they remade the whole thing in a 2D Zelda style.
Really? Like Link to the Past?
Yeah. And you run around slicing and you roll and it's got all this stuff. It's pretty. I watched like a 20-minute or 20-something minute video of going through it, and it has the two bosses you fight in that area. And it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really cool. It's like it lays out. You recognize all the levels and everything. All the pieces are there.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but it's really close.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. And it's free. You can just see it. And it includes the Hunter's Dream, which is where you go to level up. And all that stuff. You can level up your character and everything and talk to the doll.
I'd like to see that just to see the art.
Yeah, you should go check it out. Okay. There's a video of it that pretty well plays through the whole thing.
Okay.
About 28 minutes, I think. So just check it out. Just the art on alone is pretty impressive. Henry Cavill.
Yes.
You know Henry Cavill.
Superman.
Or The Witcher. There's
or Mustache Man from Mission Impossible, a movie I haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm. Or Digital Face from Batman or Justice League.
Or Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Or Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's the uncle, right?
He works for U.N.C.L.E.
No, he is the uncle.
No, he works.
He is. He's the uncle. That's how the story.
U.N.C.L.E. is the organization.
He is uncle.
He's the man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, he's uncle.
He is one of the men from U.N.C.L.E.
Anyway. He's on Instagram, and he posted like a 5-minute video of him building a PC, a gaming PC, and such a nerd, just like.
That's right, Cavill. We're calling you out.
Calling you out. I started following you on Instagram because of this. It's actually kind of cool, but it's kind of funny because he's in a tank top and he's Superman, so he's like ripped and he's just building his computer and I'm just like.
I watched a little bit, and I guess he had like a GoPro cam on. We're looking down at his hand.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, why did he do it this way? Because he had, and I guess some people build them this way. He had the motherboard just laying on the table.
Yeah.
And he put the processor in, which
he
took
puts
him
it
a
all
couple
in
of
there.
times. And then he had the big water cool system like hanging on it.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Why would you do it that way? I always maybe it's wrong, but I've always just put the motherboard into the case first and then install it. Of course, I guess it depends if you have room in your case.
Yeah, that's true.
Easier. But still, like I would not have put the big water cooling radiator attached swinging from the motherboard before I put it in the case. Anyway, that's just my criticism.
He's Superman. He can afford to break it.
He can do whatever he wants.
But the part that amused me was how long it took him to finally get the pins lined up.
Yeah,
he kept having trouble with it. He kept trying it.
There's only 4 orientations, and he tried 2 of them before.
Let me give you some advice for Henry Cavill and anyone else who's building a computer. There's a corner that has an arrow, a highlighted corner, and there's
at
an
least
arrow.
on the AMD ones. I don't know about
the AMD one. I think it's on the other ones as well. There's a corner that has a marker, and you line that up, and then it will sink in.
Yeah. Also, the processor I have has 4 gaps in the pins, and they only line up a certain way.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I started following Henry Cavill. Okay. Not because he was wearing a tank top on Instagram.
That sounds exactly like the reason you want to go.
Because he was building a gaming PC.
And flexing them muscles.
He also paints models and stuff.
Yeah, I knew he did that.
Yeah. He's such a nerd.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Microsoft is stopping production of the Xbox One X and Xbox One S All Digital Edition. But they're still going to do the Xbox One X that will still continue. I know that makes no sense to anybody because no one bought an Xbox.
I don't know I didn't understand it. It sounded like they've stopped production of the Xbox One X, but they still are making Xbox One. What?
Yes.
I don't understand anything
there's
you
the
just said.
Xbox One X.
Okay.
And then there's the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. And then there's the Xbox One X.
It sounds like you're saying the same thing over and over again. You do understand.
I am saying something wrong. I wrote something wrong down here.
That sounds like you too.
There's the smaller, the cheaper version of the Xbox One, whatever it's called. It's not going away. Oh, S, that's what it is. Xbox One S.
Is going away?
Not going away.
Going away.
Xbox One S All Digital is going away.
Welcome to Dud and Dan, where we just ramble on and you have no idea what we're talking about.
That's because the naming scheme of the Xbox is stupid.
Let's just roll this back, boil it down, distill it a little bit. They're going to stop making some Xbox Ones, but not others.
All of them.
So if you want one, you get that one.
Yeah. Well, if you want an Xbox One X, you got to get it now, or else you won't get one.
Is that the better one?
Yes.
Okay, I have no idea.
I had to look it up too. So the Xbox One X is the current one, like the big one. And then the S is like the cheaper one. But then there's the all digital that doesn't have a disk drive. So it's,
of the cheaper one or the X?
Of the cheaper one. It's real confusing. That's why, PlayStation has PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro. That's it. Nothing else. Duh. Too complicated. Not to mention, the new one is called the Series X, which is one word different from the previous one.
Are you talking about the next gen one?
Yeah, the next gen is called Xbox Series X.
Xbox
Xbox XXX.
For
Series
adult only.
It's just a stupid naming. I don't know who at Microsoft names these things.
We like X's.
Yeah.
Let's get crazy.
I think they're just trying to get weird.
Well, they're trying to, what they're doing, what they did with the 360, is they had the Xbox, but they didn't want to go to the Xbox 2 because PlayStation was already up to 3.
3, yeah.
And so we're not going to be 2 when they're 3, so we're going to be the Xbox 360. So you get a 3 in there, and it sounds like it's on the same level.
But then they were downgraded because they went back to 1. one.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, we don't want to call it the 3 because that's confusing because it sounds like Xbox 360, but we don't call it 4 because it's not the 4th one. And then everyone was like, well, you could call it the 1080, but then it sounds like the only resolution it can do is 1080, and you don't want that. So you might as well just go, okay, well, let's just roll back to like the
Xbox One.
Xbox One. And so what? Now we're going to the Xbox 2? Well, that sounds dumb.
Yeah. Now it's the Series.
It's the Series X. Yeah. But then what are you going to do? Y and then Z?
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be the Xbox Series 1.
Yeah, seriously, at this point.
And then it'll be Xbox Series 1 X.
Yeah, exactly. Xbox Triple X comes with Vin Diesel.
Because he's in everything.
He's in everything. It sounds like Vin Diesel.
He voices everything.
All it does is say, okay. I am Xbox.
I am Xbox. Yes. I would buy that, actually. I am Xbox. Rogue Legacy 2, which I don't know if I knew that was coming.
I saw something about it.
Yeah, well, it's been delayed.
Oh, really?
The early access was supposed to come out July 23rd, which is this week, but it's been delayed to August 18th to get a better polish of it.
Okay.
Which I didn't even know there. I guess we probably talked about it. I just forgot.
I don't know if we did on the show or not. Yeah. I know I remember seeing something about it, but I don't know if we talked about it. And
another delay is Destiny 2's new expansion. It has been delayed till November.
Okay.
Because, this is the cool thing I want to talk about. Okay. Well, I have more things to talk about. One of them, I'll get to the cool one second.
Okay.
I thought I was out of time, and so I was just jumping to the cool thing, and now I'm going to take a step back.
I'm going to tell you 2 things, and the second thing will be cooler. All right, let's go.
It'll be way cooler than the first one.
All right, just get through this first thing.
The first one's sweaty.
The next one is coming. It's cool.
Okay.
All right, lay it on me. What's the less cool one?
Someone, a modder is playing Mario 64. With a trampoline.
I saw that. I was less impressed because all we used it for was the jumping and the A button.
Well, no. Not just that. To turn, you have to turn.
Oh, okay. So
it's motion. He used an Xbox camera.
Yeah,
what's it called? Camera?
Yeah.
Kinetic, whatever it's called. The motion detection camera to do it. And so he has to jump. To jump in the game, which is exhausting.
And also move through dialogue.
Yeah, that was true. He has to jump to get through dialogue.
He's like jumping at the beginning, you get past the letter.
The best part is the first time he fights Bowser.
Yeah.
Because to spin, he has to spin.
Oh, no, I didn't even watch it that far.
And he just was having so much trouble with it.
Oh, God, he's like going to vomit.
Yeah, he's like turning around. He's just like doing circles trying to make Mario spin, and he has to do it kind of at the right rhythm.
And release him at the right time. Oh, my God. I need to go back and watch more
Watch that part. It's
That's
really funny.
Hilarious.
But yeah, it's exhausting watching him do it. I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. Go check that out. Now, the cool thing. Lego.
Cooler than that?
Lego, yes.
Oh.
So Lego's coming out with a new set.
Are you thinking about
a really cool set?
I am really interested in this.
They're coming out with a Nintendo and TV Lego set.
Yeah.
So the original NES.
Yeah. It looks like the
console. It looks like the console. It has a slot for this game and everything. And
a controller.
And an old style TV.
Like tube TV.
That looks like the old, my childhood, and it's all made out of Legos.
Yeah,
it's like 2,000 something pieces.
Yeah, and the amazing part is there's a crank on the side of the TV.
On the side,
so there's a panoramic thing that rotates around.
And you can move Mario a little lever.
Yeah, Mario slides up and down on it based on where he's supposed to move. There's a thing that pushes him up and down.
No, I thought it had a little lever you could control it.
You can, I think, but it also it's as it moves along the map, it pushes him up and down.
Oh. I didn't know it was automated him moving. Yeah, I thought it was just a little lever.
It's on a lever, and the map, the thing that's going by pushes him up.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool.
It's really cool.
I'm trying to not think about it so I don't buy it.
It's $230.
I know.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, but I want it.
I really want it.
I do too.
I really, really, really want it.
It looks Looks real good.
It's really
It would
good.
look real nice on my shelf.
It's really nice, and it's complex, and it looks like it'd be a blast to build.
It looks amazing. I thought it was like cool with just like when I thought it was just a still image of him on the screen, but then I realized, oh no,
the screen moves.
Everything it rotates, and the whole it has a what do you call it? It's a term for
it's like an old style movie where
the whole thing just rotates around and has a belt
cycles.
Type, it has like a belt system thing where it's coming around. And I'm like, that
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Go check out the video for it. Comes out August 1st.
I gotta stew on it for a bit.
I really want it.
I do too.
It's probably gonna be hard to get.
Yeah, you think so?
I think it'll be very popular.
I don't know. I think the price point will help.
That's true.
Keep it.
There's several Lego sets I would love to have.
Lego sets aren't usually too hard to get, even the really popular ones.
Yeah, because they're expensive.
Yeah, they're pricey.
I still want the Batmobile one.
Yeah.
The Tim Burton Batmobile
that
set.
one's good. That's expensive too.
That's a real expensive one.
Yeah.
And then the Millennium Falcon one is insane.
Yeah.
The $700 one.
Yeah, $799 is $800. Yeah.
Wow.
Anything else you want to cover?
Nope, that was it. I figured we'd lead out with the Lego NES.
Yeah, that looks
and TV.
It's exciting.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would put it if I had it.
I don't know.
You know, I had to make room.
I'd find a spot. It would be prominent.
Up by my Roby house.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which no one can see because it's right up on the shelf over there. But yeah.
All right. Well, please go to our website at duddandan.com. That's DUDNDAN.com. You can also go to Duddan, DUDDAN, if you want to. If you want to save yourself a character.
A little less typing.
A little bit less strain on your carpal tunnels. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll keep putting out an episode every week on Monday, as we have done for who knows how long. I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. I'm Dan May.
And I'm Dudley May, and this has been Dud and Dan.